What if I told you that there is a man who believes he is dead? And not just any man, but a 74-year-old French man named Emmanuel. And it's not like he thinks he was dead, but he's actually dead. His brain has somehow convinced him that he doesn't exist. This is a rare mental condition known as Cotard's delusion. And although the name might be unfamiliar to you, the symptoms are not. People with Cotard's delusion believe that they've lost their physical body and sometimes their entire self. They may feel as though they're no longer real or that they have stopped existing. It's a type of delusion, which itself is a type of psychosis. Psychosis is when someone loses touch with reality, usually due to a severe mental illness like schizophrenia. One of the main characteristics of psychosis is that the person experiences hallucinations and delusions. Hallucinations are sensory experiences that don't really exist, like hearing voices that aren't there. Delusions are false beliefs that aren't based in reality, like thinking that you're being watched all the time. Both of these can happen in people who are mentally ill, but for reasons we don't fully understand. Some people with schizophrenia experience delusions of grandeur, where they believe that they have special powers or are particularly important. Some may believe that they are Jesus Christ. Others may believe that they are immortal. But some, like Emmanuel, come to believe that they are dead. And Emmanuel isn't the only one. Between 1980 and 2013, there were 235 cases of Cotard's delusion reported in medical journals, and since then, more cases have been reported in China, Japan, India, Italy, and France. But what causes this rare delusion? In 1980, an evolutionary psychiatrist from France named Pierre Cotard wrote about 3 patients who believed they didn't exist. All 3 patients were deeply depressed, and 2 of them had attempted suicide. After researching these cases and others like them, Cotard came up with his own theory about what caused this strange delusion. He thought that it happened when people tried to suppress their awareness of death. Basically, he believed that people who were confronted with their own mortality became so overwhelmed that their brains shut down and made them completely unaware of their physical bodies. This is now known as Cotard's syndrome, named after the French psychiatrist who studied it. But it's still just a theory. There's very little research on Cotard's syndrome because it's so rare that studying it is difficult. Plus, people who have it are often unable to participate in research studies because, well, they don't think they exist. So we don't know what causes it or how common it really is. It could be more common than we think, but most cases go unknown because most people won't talk to doctors about their bizarre beliefs. That's because the delusion makes people socially isolated and most people are too ashamed to seek help. And even if they do seek help, the delusion is so all-consuming that it can be hard to get people with Cotard's syndrome to participate in therapy. In fact, the syndrome has been compared to depersonalization disorder, which is when someone feels disconnected from themselves. The difference between depersonalization disorder and Cotard's delusion is that people who have depersonalization disorder still feel connected to reality, whereas people with Cotard's delusion have completely lost touch with it. Emmanuel is one of those people. He lives in a home for people with mental illnesses in southern France. He spends his days watching TV and eating meals, but he has no idea that he has a physical body. He believes that he's disembodied, that he exists outside of space and time. Emmanuel's story is tragic, but it's also inspiring. He's almost 75 years old, and he's still trying to make the most of his life. Of course, he's delusional, but he's happy, at least most of the time, and that's all any of us can really ask for. So, do you know anyone who's experienced Cotard's delusion or any of the other delusions we talked about today? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. See you next time.